You already know. You already know.
In the building.
Welcome back to another episode of Straight Live Podcast, man.
Yes,
You're
sir.
now tuning in with your favorite DJ Turnpike, and my co-host.
DJ Top Tier.
Man, look, before we move forward, make sure you hit that button. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe, most importantly, so we can keep giving you this dope content.
Sir.
It's hot in this room today. So you're going to see it.
Cooking
Yo,
up.
we got the headphones on and all type of shit going on. So you're going to see us moving to the side, wiping the sweat and all that.
Right.
This shit is baking. But yo, today, it's an honor to have a special guest with us today that go by the name Realtime.
Yeah.
You already know.
Thank y'all for having me.
You already know, man.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for coming out, man.
No doubt.
How was that ride in today?
Man, hectic.
Traffic.
Traffic like a motherfucker.
No, that's a fact. I can imagine. I had to come across that bridge, man. It was crazy.
And
Word.
then on top of that, dealing with that traffic, you gotta pay extra on the congestion prices in New
Oh
York.
shit, yeah. You know they trying to get
Out
every
here
dollar.
raping
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. Every corner.
Yeah, they trying to get every. They
Glad
trying
you
to
holding on to
get
nothing.
everything from us.
Nothing you holding on to.
Yo, listen, we got a message. What's his name? Governor Cuomo? What's his name?
Governor Cuomo,
Yeah, if you want to come back, man, yo, cut that congestion shit. Yeah, we got you. Trust me, we got you.
Right,
Listen,
exactly.
I'm gonna say like this. Bloomberg did a better job with the congestion thing when he had the carpooling.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
When the carpooling, it didn't cost nobody no money,
yeah,
and
Right.
it had less traffic on the city because people was carpooling because they save money by
Uh-huh.
carpooling
yeah.
instead of people driving in solo. So it saved a lot of people money. I saved a lot of money taking my kids to school during that time and everything.
Yeah.
But this whole congestion to everybody,
Yeah.
even if you carpooling, you got to pay $16 on the Holland, $9 to get in Brooklyn. That's sick. That's bananas.
That's crazy. So your kids go to school in New York?
Yeah, my kids going to school in New York. But
Oh,
they
that's-
live in New York now, but when they was
Yeah.
living in Jersey
Yeah.
during the Bloomberg era, it was a lot easier on me because I was getting a discount because when you go to Holland Tunnel, you got 3 or more people in your card, you get a discount to go to Holland. Like instead of paying $15 at the time, I think, you get it for like $11.
Oh, that's
So
how
that was
shit
the
go.
wave. So it promotes carpooling. So less cars going to the city. More people pair up in there, and they they benefit for low costs.
So you had how did they because I don't know nothing about that because I don't know. I always just got in the car, just came across the bridge, paid the full price. I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known about that because then maybe I probably be like, yo, come on, let's go,
Facts.
let's travel together type shit. But how did they enforce that? Like, how did they know? Like, did you have to like get an easy pass that said like you call a carpooler? Like, how did that work?
Nah. You have is a lane. Well, this before because now they have the Holland. They changed it where there's nobody in the booths no more.
Yeah.
But this is when they had the booths where it was a lane that you go in, and the operator in the lane, she can count the people in the car. So it's a carpooling lane that you have to get on,
Gotcha.
and she will confirm that it's 3 or more people in the car, and then she'll press a button inside the system,
Yeah.
and then you get charged based on that, and that's how that was.
Oh, this is before the AI took over the.
Yeah. Way before.
Yeah, now
Way
They want to
before.
mail the bill to you now because they know people ain't on top of their bills, so they know they're gonna get extra fees and stuff on people.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's slick. It's the hustle, man. They hustling people right
What
now.
they used to pull up and be like, roll down your back window, let me see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, you
I need
missing?
a
You
head
need
count.
one more.
I need a head count.
New York on their hustle right now.
Word, man. Boy, yo, thanks for coming out. Real time, real
Thanks for
talk,
having me.
man.
No
It's a
doubt.
pleasure. It's an honor, man, to have you, man.
Definitely.
Word. But we gonna jump into this interview real fast, man, because it's hotter than them all right now. You sipping, I'm sipping.
Yeah.
We got DJ Top Tail over there. He doing AA right now. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Somebody gotta be focused, right?
Facts, you know what I'm saying? So, first off, I want to start off, man, and I know your answers are gonna run deep, man, because I know how long you been in the game. How long you been in the music industry?
Wow, in the game, man. I started when I was 15, 16 years old. Yeah. I'm getting my age if I tell you how many years.
Man,
but
listen, man.
I don't give a damn. So you would just pretty much say like 32 years, man.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Shout out to Realtime, 32 years in the
32
game. And
years.
I'm not even gonna lie, man. Yeah, sometimes it's best that you do give the game and give the age because you got a lot of young cats that probably sit around and watch this and they see people like you that been around and doing your
Yeah.
thing. And man, that's inspiration. I know it's inspiration for me, like type shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
And they gotta understand the era where I came from of listening to hip hop and understanding hip hop and things like that, and understanding um, the skill of writing and lyrical content and what you talk about is important. But also, I also say even as growing in age, um, you have to elevate in your music. You know what I mean?
Right.
One thing I don't like about a lot of music right now, especially with the older cats in the game. No shots at anybody, but at the end of the day, it's like they still trying to be like the young people instead of being more inspiring. So when you get a certain age and you still continue doing music, at some point, let's start uplifting the mind because we see what's happening to our young people right now.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And how music is actually taking them down. They give them millions and then take them down quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Off the content that they rap about and things like that. And then you have a lot of these older artists. They promoting it. They're they thinking that's the wave, so they're gonna follow that wave instead of being those leaders and saying, okay, yeah, we've been there, done that. But at the end of the day, let's also inspire. And that's why I respect Kendrick Lamar as an artist as well
So-
because he does a lot of inspirational music.
that's what's up. So then you on that Charlemagne the God wave because I think it's Charlemagne the God that he be saying something about that older artists they shouldn't be compared to the younger artists. They should have their own category of music. And also there's another DJ I can't think of his name. He also said that, but we going to DJ Punch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know DJ Punch. Like
Yeah.
he's like one of them computer DJs, like real nice. Like, he do his thing. But he also said that the older artists should be categorized differently from the younger artists so that it could separate the music because it's like if you trying to put out music and then a younger artist trying to put out the music, it's like y'all competing, but y'all not even really talking about or doing the same thing type of shit. Like
I mean, I think it should. I mean, music is music. I wouldn't say. I mean, it should be characterized different, but at the same time, how can you characterize it differently when you have a lot of older G's who still trying to do what the young people doing? They following the young people wave instead of being more like we've been there, done that. Now let's do something different. You know what I mean? When you got the older rappers, they come out with their videos and they still flossing jewelry, cars, and got young girls and they 40-something years old, but they still got 20, 19-year-old girls and they vixens in their video. Like, you know, where's that leadership at to say, okay, you've been there, done that. You have that wave. You had music 20 years ago doing that stuff. At some point, where did you progress mentally in your head when it comes to music and say, okay, let me do something that's more because everybody's just chasing a buck
They got stuck.
yeah,
instead of just really just being more influenced as they get older because we live and we learn. You know what I mean? And then we see the things and we see the stuff that's going on with Diddy and stuff like that and all these things that's going on in the music industry now. And now it's like, okay, now everybody want to be quiet, but y'all help promote most of this stuff as well. Y'all didn't help change the whole trajectory. I mean, young people gonna be young people. We all young. We talk foolish stuff. We talk about this. We talk about that. But if you're gonna still be in the music as an OG, you know what I mean? Talk about something. Even Jay-Z did it. Jay-Z started talk about more positive stuff. He started talking about drugs and this stuff like. But you see, he elevated in his music. So when you hear his music, latest music now, he talks about investing, family, and things like that.
absolutely.
So he shows some type of elevation, no matter what people might think about Jay-Z as an artist now or what he's been doing in the industry or whatever the case is. He has shown that he's grown up mentally, and he shows it in his music. But his music is still hot. When Jay-Z come out, people still gonna run and listen to the next Jay-Z joint, and they're gonna be inspired by what he got to say.
yeah, definitely. So I heard you mention that Diddy situation. What's your thoughts on that?
At the end of the day, that's something that God got to deal with. You know what I mean? I don't know if Diddy. I mean, he made great music in his time. I don't want to base my opinion based on what you hear on social media and things like that. You hear a lot of things on in the court case. I mean, what people do in their private life is their business. But I'm gonna say this: it is go with the Diddy thing, the R. Kelly thing. The thing that confused me with this system when we talk about sex trafficking, and even when you have some of the people that came up and said they were the ones that Diddy paid, all right, to come to their home. What happened to them being arrested and being charged for prostitution? You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
it's like, okay, yeah, Diddy got the money, but at the same time, you're selling your services. So if that's illegal, then why are you not being held accountable as well as well. Same thing with the R. Kelly cases. When people talk about the R. Kelly, where's these parents at? Why are you leaving your young daughters in a studio with a grown man, knowing that he married a young woman? Y'all know he like young women. Me as a father of daughters, if my daughter's talented and she's working with a celebrity, I'm gonna be there with her. I'm gonna travel there. I'm gonna be in the studio. I'm not gonna leave it in a room with a grown man.
Right.
So at the end of the day, these parents, they abandoned their children and pretty much prostituted their children to this
a
man as
hustle.
well. So they should be held accountable too. When you hear these confessions, and I watched like the whole R. Kelly thing and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, it's crazy. But like, all right, what he's doing is not right, right?
Yeah.
So he's deserving the punishment. But at the end of the day, why are these parents
Why everybody else not
benefiting
being-
financially off of it? Why they not being held accountable
Exactly.
for,
Everything-
neglecting their child?
Yeah. You're right.
Neglecting because that's what it is, child neglected.
Yeah.
You mess these children up mentally because you allow them in a space with a strange man, just because he's a celebrity,
Mm-hmm.
and you allow him to take advantage of them mentally or whatever, and you wasn't there to protect your children.
Or they was there, but they wasn't protecting them.
And they wasn't protected because all they think about is that money, how they gonna benefit
Yep.
from them. So y'all use your so that's like to me that's like using your you pimping your child.
That's
Yeah.
that's
It's
what
a
it
hustle.
is. Like
It's
it
a
ain't
hustle.
like that.
Why they not being held accountable?
Yeah.
So this is the thing that I don't understand with this whole system where we
Sweeping
chopping
it
out
under the rug.
these celebrities, these people got money, they can do whatever they want, right?
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, also the people who's part of the action should be held accountable as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
With accountability going that end. These people benefiting financially. They writing books, making money off of this, but they did stuff illegal as well. But they're not being held accountable for it. And that's what that bothers me with this whole situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like you, man, and just like I said last week, man. Like I was a Diddy fan for years. Like I don't agree with none of that shit, but I just feel like whatever they actually got him in court for is not what they supposed to be charging because I don't see what is the RICO at.
Right now, everything is all about this whole cast.
Yeah, so it's like
Yeah.
y'all charging this man with a RICO, but y'all talking about sex in the bedroom.
Yeah, because the thing about it, they saying that if you fly somebody across the state line for sexual pleasures, it's automatically considered sexual trafficking. That's the law, right? So that's why that's what they're trying to pin on him because they don't really got that much on him besides these allegations that everybody's saying or whatever the case is. So that's the best thing they can have on somebody like at his status.
So then that goes back to like even like what you just said. So then why are they not being held accountable
That's my
for selling
point.
themselves?
If the prostitute, the person that they pay for the services is on that stand as a witness, you just went across state lines and prostitute your body to this man because he got millions. You benefit from it. You got paid for it. You got a salary for it. And now you turn it on this guy. You revealing that he paid you for the services. But what happened to you? So you take this money and go and enjoy life with your family when you're doing something. So after this guy go if he go to jail or whatever happened, you still gonna be in those services, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
on to the next.
On to the next. So when is that part gonna stop? When is we gonna hold those people accountable as well? Because then if those people be held accountable, then they wouldn't have no resources to go to pay for services because the prostitutes would be taken off the street as well.
Absolutely.
Bottom line, Diddy going to do some type of time regardless. Because the Hefner dude, whatever his name, the Hefner dude, they ain't touch him, and he been doing this way longer, for many years before. And they ain't touch him, so now that they got him, Diddy, for this type of thing, they going to give him some type of time.
Well, you gotta understand it's a race thing.
Yeah.
And if we
They
if
gonna
we
give
too
him
blind, if
some
we
type
act
of
like we too
time.
blind to see it as a race thing, I mean, it's
Not
a lot
escaping
of
that.
it's a lot of other cases and sex trafficking cases going on with another. I saw about another white guy that's worse case than Puffy's, but you don't hear about it because they put Puffy on a main screen so
Right.
that you don't see these other cases and how these other cases are gonna pan out. This is not the only case. They just highlighting the Diddy thing, and we as African Americans, when we watch it, we're over here exploiting it more and more and more.
Yeah, especially when it's our people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people. That's the sad thing. And to be honest with you, a lot of our people, the Diddy's, the R. Kelly's, they learned it from
Dumb.
the Caucasians.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they had to.
You know,
That's the only way they can really do it how they did it and not be
it's-
getting caught.
and I get caught.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? They had to have that secret society shit behind them, but
Yeah. But don't get it twisted. Like, if you did the crime, you should pay the
Yeah,
price.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
I
it
totally
doesn't-
agree.
It doesn't
Yeah.
take away the fact that you've allowed yourself to be manipulated and put yourself in that position. So you have to do what comes with the.
But can I ask you a
consequences behind it.
question though? Like, how did he just become the big bad monster all of a sudden?
I mean, from mine, and then I started looking up. But I was thinking about it even before I heard it online. But I saw it come after he did that lawsuit against the people from Ciroc, the people that owned Ciroc. He did a racism lawsuit against them, and that was, these are the big dogs. They own a lot of brands of liquor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they had a lot of things. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they had a lot to do with paying Cassidy and giving Cassidy the security note she needs to be able to come out. Because now it's like, if you take from us, we're gonna take more from you. Because you bite the hand that feeds you. So that's how they look at it. And now they going. I really believe that's why they really going hard on him. But it doesn't justify what he was doing. It's right either.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't justify it. But unfortunately, you play with the wolves and you turn your back on them, then they're gonna come and attack you.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be very aware of that. So, I say anybody that's making business with the devil, whatever the case is, just make sure.
Facts. Nah, you're right. Definitely right.
You protect yourself by all means, because you can go down like that as well. You know what I mean? It's sad to see it. Sad to see it go down. I mean, I don't want to see nobody that works so hard to get where they have to be used and abused to go down. But at the end of the day, you paint your own picture as well.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So you gotta deal with the consequences with that as well. So
That's a fact.
I can't sit here and feel pity for anybody that we grown. We know what's right from wrong.
Facts. He wasn't bringing me to them freak offs. I ain't about
I wouldn't have gone anyway.
Should have invited me to a couple of them.
But you could have signed me with a deal, and I could have made some good music for you as well. You know what I'm saying?
That career was
Real times I with the deal.
So tell the people, man. Tell the people where you from originally. Tell the people that not familiar with you where you from.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York. New York all day. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I always wear my New York fitted. You know what I mean? I got my Buffalo Bills because that's New York for all those who don't know.
Okay.
No offense to the Giants and the Jet fans. I'm Buffalo Bills all day. I got my
Giants.
I got my patch, got my 33s on right now. My
Okay.
Ewing's on, showing New York all day.
Right,
You know what I'm
represented.
saying?
Facts.
So I'm New York all day, Brooklyn all day, man.
That's what's up.
But shout out to Jersey because I that's what I'm invested in. I'm in Jersey, so right
Okay.
now.
How long you been out there in Jersey?
I've been in Jersey for 16 years.
Oh, that's what's up. In Newark, right?
I'm in Irvington.
Irvington? Or Irvington. How was that?
I mean, it's the hood.
Yeah.
It's the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm around my black people.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I moved out to Jersey. I've been out there for a while, probably like 4 or 5 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I'm in like the Elizabeth Roselle area type
Okay.
type of shit. Like I like it out there.
That's what's up.
Word.
So did living in Brooklyn shape the style that we hear today that you got?
Of course, Brooklyn played a big role in it. Of course, you know what I mean, growing up in Brooklyn
Okay.
and dealing with challenges, life challenges and stuff like that. So it's, living in Brooklyn, just moving around.
Okay. You had like a group that you hung out with that you just did music with, and like, yo, we gonna link up this time, and we gonna,
I mean, at this current time right now.
when you first.
Oh,
was
back then.
coming
Oh,
up,
no, yeah, coming up, yeah. I mean, it was myself, my brother, Mr. L,
Okay.
and then one of my boys named Shane.
Okay.
Marco, and we started doing music together, started freestyling on beats and stuff like that, and then we end up recruiting a lot of people from the hood and stuff like that, and end up from high school, the hood and stuff like that, and we end up starting a group called the Unknown Shadows.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We was like the Wu-Tang back then in Brooklyn, you know what I mean?
So y'all was like
At
mad
that
deep?
time, it was deep. Yeah, we was deep. Yeah. It was like us 20 plus, yeah. You know, I mean, we used to, do a lot of talent shows and stuff, and competitions and things like that. Yeah.
That's what's up. How was the talent in the group? Like, was everybody like the same, or did you have like it was like versatile? Like basically like the way, like, since you brought up the Wu-Tang situation, you see how like everybody had their own little that made the group.
Nah,
good as a
everybody
collective?
definitely had their own style. I mean, everybody definitely had their own style.
Mhm.
I think, we was more on a hardcore scene in the beginning. And then we had, God bless his soul, our boy Animal. He came in, and he was actually, before like Biggie was popping, he was the one that was in our team that was the Versace wearing, brought that little fashion stuff to the market with stuff we wasn't even into. We busy wearing our Timbs and our Carhartt. He talking
Right.
all this
Yeah.
Versace stuff. So he brought that energy to the team, you know what I mean, outside of the, the hood era that we was talking about and things like that. Unfortunately, he lost his life at a young age.
Sorry
To
to
the
hear that.
streets and
Yep.
stuff like that. You know what I mean? So he definitely brought a lot of talent, a lot of different, perspective to the team at the time when we was on our just straight Rachi rough stuff. Yeah.
That's
You know
what's
what I'm
up.
saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So where do you usually find inspiration in life, dreams, or music, or something entirely?
At this point, music is therapy for me. Yeah, I look at music as therapy. Um, I don't even be honest. I don't even look at myself as a rapper. I look at myself as an artist. I create art.
Nice.
Um, I never was into the battle rapping stuff. Um,
That was one of my questions.
I never was in it. I listen. I did it. I'm not gonna lie. I did it one time. I called myself getting on stage in a battle competition, and I suck. I didn't like it. Just that's just not me. Yeah, because of the thing about for me, it's hard for me to fabricate things. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
not to say anything about anybody who does it. There's a lot of art behind that, right? But I don't know. It's just like I just can't fabricate, and it's just that's not in me, right? It
Yeah.
never been in me. So I speak from my truth, right? So everything that I come out of my mouth, I speak from my truth, right? So it just wasn't me like talking about somebody and say I do this, I got the extendo, I bop them down. That just wasn't like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't. I didn't. That's just not my groove, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I listen, I watch them. I used to watch the Smack DVDs, and I'm like, oh, that's dope, whatever. But it never was my groove. Not a thing that I never wanted to be into.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But for me, it's like I grew up around music, and my father used to play music. He play instruments, and he used to perform a lot. He used to own a club, and with music, it's just like when I listen to music, I listen to melodies, and I just create something around it. So I don't really have like, I know like some people ask me like, I know I feel like I confuse a lot of people because people don't know what real time like what's my actual genre of music like when it comes to hip hop. Like, is he hardcore? Is he this? Is he that?
Right.
Like, I just vibe to any beat. Like, you give me a beat, I'm gonna make something to it.
Yeah. So
It's about
basically,
creating
it's what
something.
you're feeling in the
It's what
time.
I'm feeling.
And
It's like
at the time, like
it's what I'm feeling at the time. I take on any type of instrumental. I'm not afraid to take on any type of instrumental.
gotcha.
Yeah, I don't have have some artists that they have to have a certain type of instrumental that makes them right and stuff like that. I mean, I will sit down and challenge myself to that instrumental. You give me something, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna create something around this.
What's one of your favorite tracks? And why? And why? Like,
My favorite tracks.
yeah, one of the favorite tracks that you put out, and why?
Wow. Do I have a favorite track? I don't know if I have a favorite track. I like all my music.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Because you know
fair.
what? I mean, a lot of songs, each song has a meaning to me that it means something to me. Especially at this point in my music right now, because I took a fade away from music for like 15, 16 years. You know what I mean? When I got married, started doing the family thing, I just put music to the side. You know what I mean? That was something that was lost in my life. You know, and then when I saw L doing the more beast thing, and then I saw what he was doing, I was like, and then I ended up getting divorced, unfortunately, and I found myself in a lost place, right? So I needed something from mental health because I saw myself in a mental place trying to figure out who can I trust, who don't I trust, and who's really there for me, who's really loyal, who's not loyal. Because sometimes you get caught in those little spaces and stuff like that. So that was probably like 5 years ago, and I told my brother like, yo, listen, I'm ready to work on a project. He's like, you sure? I was like, yeah, man, I'm ready to do this, man, because I was inspired by all the stuff he was doing, and and when I first started music, getting back into music, it was all personal. Most of my music was personal. Even though a lot of my music is personal now, but it was more personal then because it was a lot of challenges I was dealing with mentally.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So, mental health is very important. So
Yeah.
it was more like, it was something to just get a lot of things out of my mind at that time when I first started getting back into music. Yeah.
So do you? So basically, so is your music like a soundtrack to your life? Would you consider that?
I wouldn't say a soundtrack to my life, but a soundtrack of my experiences.
Gotcha. Break that down a little more.
You know what I mean? Like dating experiences. I talk about my dating life.
Yeah.
Social, online dating, my experiences. I got songs talking about that.
Okay.
But I would say the new project I'm about to drop is called Real, and it stands for Recognizing Energy and Loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's dope.
That one is actually I get more deep into my personal life. I talks about growing up without my mother. father, being raised by my father in jail. My father did time in jail, and stuff like that. So this new project I got, I speak more. I get more personal on
Gotcha.
it, so you'll get to know a lot more about me on that particular project. Yeah.
So we broke down the name Real, so we know the name is Real Time.
Yes.
Explain that to us. Like, how did that come about? What's the meaning behind that name? If there's a meaning, yeah.
The name came from originally. The name came from it wasn't even a name because I wasn't in music, right? So
Mhm.
my past name I used to go by Dread Boy because I used to have dreads and everybody knew me as Dread Boy. I got into fitness. I started my own personal training company, and I called it Real Time Fitness Wars. All right. And it was just the name of the company. And then when I got back into music, my brother was like, "What name you gonna use? Cause you cut your dreads off." I was like, "It's a good question. I didn't think about it." But it's like, you know what? Real time. I'm gonna use real time because I'm real all the time. I keep it real all the time. I've always kept it real all the time. So I'm like, fuck it. That's gonna be my name. I'm gonna ride with it. I'm gonna rock with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My brother's like, all right, let's do it. And I was like, all right, cool.
So what was young real time like?
Dre Boy?
You see how you said that? You're a dread boy? You don't want to know that.
I was dread boy.
Keep that conversation for another day.
Dre Boy was a young dude doing stupid shit, man. Let me be
Okay.
honest with you. Short-tempered, very short-tempered young man. Not confrontational. I didn't like confrontations. My teenage time I was more of, I stayed away from confrontation when it comes to arguments. I didn't like arguments. So my whole approach was like, if we got a problem, let's just sprawl out.
Okay.
Like, nobody got time for words. I feel like that. I always felt like, even to this day, even as a grown man, sometimes I have to force myself to I feel like all that arguments, bitch ass shit. Like, if we got a problem, let's just scrap out. Let's just get it done.
Get it over.
Right?
That's a fact.
Right. And that
That's a fact.
was my mind as a youth.
With the hands, at least.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
But then, once you start having a family, then you start thinking about things. And a lot of my thinking come from the experience of being raised by my father while he was in prison, right? And I made a deal with myself that I don't want to have to raise my kids through a prison cell. So I had to make some adjustments with myself mentally. You know what I mean? That, fighting and doing all that is not going to get me anywhere, but it's going to put me in jail too. Now you got kids, like, you don't want your kids to experience what you experienced, because when I visit my partner, I used to experience a lot of shit. I used to see a lot of shit in the visitor rooms that a young kid wasn't supposed to see.
That's a
And then
fact.
going to the trailer visits, like my father won't got me into working out and stuff. And I did not want my children to have that experience. So once I had my first child, I had to make a lot of adjustments, learn how to control my mental health and learn how to control my temperament. You know what I mean? When I didn't have a kid, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I didn't give a fuck if I lived or die. You know what I mean? At that time.
That's before you had the kids.
Before I had the kids, yeah. But once you have kids, it does change you. And I think if you don't have kids, if you have kids and they didn't change you, then you really need some mental help, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Facts. Yeah, because I know that's what happened to me, man. I was the same way, man. I was a wild boy. And then I found out it was like I was having a girl at that. That was my first
Same.
child was a girl. And
Same.
it was like, I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't. It's not in me
Yeah,
to
make you
just be
slow
taken
down.
away from her and just be okay with that.
Be
Like,
okay
you
with
feel me?
that, yeah.
So that shit definitely changed my life around.
Yeah.
So what's your songwriting process like? Do you do, because I know you said you challenge any instrumental. So are you a lyric or a melody come first type of guy?
I would say melody come first, to be honest with you, because I would go on my laptop and I just pull up a beat, and I'm like, oh, it's something different. Let me see what I could do with it. You know what I mean? I don't sit around looking for the same type of beats that I would probably.
Not
custom
one track
surround.
minded. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not one track
Oh,
minded.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when I see something that I like to, when I listen to something different, I be like, I never rounded something like that. Let me see what I could do with this.
Right.
And a lot of times my mind start generating some creativity steps around it, either whether it's a hook or a verse that come out first or whatever, and then I'll just start writing to it.
Yeah.
And what I do, because I have a studio in my home, I record right away. I record everything in real time as I'm writing. I record in real time because the thing about it is, I lost a lot of thoughts because I didn't record it right then on spot. Because like you hear something and you have this whole type of flow or whatever, and then you try to visit it 24 hours later, you done lost that flow. Like, damn, how that was again?
Yeah.
Damn, what was that again? And then you lose that whole idea and that concept that you had for that
You
song.
gotta capture it. When you
that
get,
capture.
Yeah.
So I try to. So a lot of times, like, I will make sure I'm in my basement in my studio. I'll put on a beat and I'm in that space, and I'll start writing then and there, and then I'll start recording my ideas right then and there in that spot. And even back when I was young, I actually used to carry the little tape recorders with the little tiny tapes. I used to carry those, and I used to carry it everywhere I go. And when I do it out there, I'll just sing it or rap it into the recorder. And then when I get back home,
play
then
it
I'll
back.
start playing it back. Yeah.
OG
Because-
shit.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
OG shit. I
just
had
never want to lose no IDs. You know
I
what
had
I'm
the
saying?
little
No
tape
IDs.
recorder. I remember I first used to want to be a rapper. When I was a kid, I would take you to a little story. Remember the Home Alone shit?
Yeah.
Remember the grave when you put the tape in?
yeah.
And I had the little microphone right there.
That's a fact. I had one of them shit.
Well, I used to get busy with those shit.
Trying to do a whole album with that shit. Trying to do a whole album.
That's
with
all
that
I told my parents I wanted for Christmas when that shit came out. I said, yo, I want one of those. I want one of those. You couldn't tell me I ain't have a studio.
Listen,
Word.
you got to record every moment, man.
So if you wasn't doing music, what would you be doing?
Yeah, that's a good question. If I wasn't doing music, what I would be doing?
Like, what you think you'll be doing? Like, what was another thing that you had a passion for outside of music?
It was fitness.
Fitness.
Working out.
Okay. So you be like a trainer, like
Trainer, yeah. I used to
Okay.
train. I have a gym in my basement. And I used to train until the pandemic, and then I stopped doing it after that. But then, then I started getting into music. So I kind of like, music was my first passion. So it's like the music is always there, and I grew up around music because my family always played music. Like I still got, to this day, my aunt Hattie, God bless her soul, I still got her record collection, all her vinyls, 45s and stuff like that in the crib.
Well, that's what's up.
That's
You know what I
fire.
mean? So I grew up around music. Music has always been around me since I was born. You know?
That's fire.
That's why L the way he is.
Yeah. Shout out to Mr. L. You already know the vibes.
It's been our blessings to start. Man.
So, are you the older brother, little brother?
I'm the youngest of all my
The youngest.
siblings.
Got you.
Yeah.
So you the baby boy.
Yeah.
It's all right, man. I'm the baby of the family.
So
too.
how many are y'all musically inclined amongst y'all?
Just me and L.
Just you and L?
Yeah, just me and L.
So it had been like that since y'all was young. Like y'all just.
Yeah, it's been like that since I was young. Cause
So
my
did he
mom.
used to record you back in the day?
Well,
Or you used to
we
record him?
started rap together. So what happened is when my father's locked up, 'cause my father used to have a club. So all his equipment, we had all his equipment at the house, and we didn't know it. So we started putting his equipment together, and that's how we started creating music.
Got you.
Like we was this is so old school. Like we didn't have a sampler, right?
Yeah.
So we used to buy vinyls and we used to sample a beat, and we would actually like L learned how to master that shit. Like we'll record one tape to record tape then play, and he would pause, record, and loop it through a regular cassette recording, and it'd be so accurate,
Wow.
and the
young.
beat would just be steady.
Young.
And I'm telling you,
What age is this?
Yo, we was like 15, 14, 15.
The scientist.
But L was always the genius behind that. It wasn't me. It was
Yeah.
L. Like he used to figure all that stuff out on how to do this, how to sample. Or we hear a nice song. Yo, that loop on it, that's hot. Yo, let's loop it. Pause. Pause right there. No, pause right there. Boom, boom, boom. And he used to loop it through a regular before we could even afford a sample or anything.
Mhm.
He used to loop it on regular cassette.
Wow.
And then we used to record on that.
He was
Like our first recording was a freestyle, and we did we was talking about foods that we like to eat, and we just routing on freestyle foods like that. But even in the beginning, L used to write for me. I admit, he used to write for me. I didn't know how to write lyrics.
Big brother, holding the little brother down.
So he started with the talent
Yeah.
before me, you know. So he used to write. But then what made me write is I realized he used to write all the dope shit for himself, and I was getting like the little. I was like, yo, he
Yo,
sounded
Mr. Al, what you talking about? Huh?
You know what I'm saying? Like my shit weak compared to his. Like he put more. Shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like, he writing your shit, bro. You need to step
Yeah,
your game
gotta-
up.
yeah, you gotta do your own
gotta
thing,
learn how
man.
to do this stuff. So
Facts.
that's when I started learning how to write it myself. I got tired of having the whack rhyme in the song.
So,
I had to start learning how to compete against my brother. You know what I'm saying?
so it's safe to say, growing up, your big bro was like one of your
He
musical
inspired me.
influences.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So how do you handle creative pressure from either fans, labels, or even yourself?
You know what? I have built myself where I don't allow the pressure to get to me. Not anymore. Um, Especially now where I'm at now because I've started writing more often than I used to. Um, so I've became the more you write, the more you know it becomes more easy. So even like with this project L doing right now, the class of 2025, as soon as L send me something within 24 hours, I'm sending him a verse back. I already got the verse done because that's where I'm at right now.
All right, hold up. Before you continue, right? I don't want to throw you off track. I just gotta ask a question to that.
Gotcha.
So, is that a thing for you? Like, if somebody send you a something to jump on or a beat to get on, are you the type of person in your mind you like? I gotta get this back ASAP. If you like it, like if you agree with it, like if I send you something or I'll send you something, and we be like, yo, we need your verse on this. Like, is that a thing for you to be like, yo, I gotta get this back ASAP?
I gotta live by my name, right? I call myself
Real
real
time.
time. I gotta get shit done in real time.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, that's the pressure I
Yeah.
deal with.
Yeah.
That's the pressure I deal with. So when something gets sent to me, it's like I gotta make it ASAP.
Turn the switch
You know
on.
what I mean? Even if I'm up all night, even if I gotta do 20, 30 takes to get it right, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna make sure I get it to you within 24 hours.
Copy.
Yeah, facts.
Bird.
That's that lock in button.
And one of the exercises I did do in the beginning of this year, when the 2025 hit, I challenged myself to making a song a day in real time, and I posted on Instagram. And I was coming home from work, listen to a beat, write the song, record it. Then after that, I went and took like a whole bunch of video clips I had already on my phone and then create a video right there in real time. Within 24 hours, I was releasing it every 24 hours, a new song. And in the month of January. And that was like a lyrical exercise I was challenging myself with to make sure to see, you know what I mean? How can I, really challenge my brain and my process and how quick I could process something. And actually, it's not just about for me, it's not just about just writing a song because technically, anybody can write a song. If you got a hot beat, you can make it sound. But what you talk about, the content, is very important. So at the end of the day, it's like I gotta challenge myself, but I gotta talk about something. I can't just be talking gibberish. Like, I can make a ton of songs talking gibberish, but I gotta make a song that actually talks about something. So you know what I mean. So anybody that's check my Instagram out, you'll see it. All 25, and I've been doing recaps this whole week on 24 songs. I released it in January every day. It should have been 31 because it's 31 days in January. Unfortunately, life be life, right? So I
Right,
just keep
right,
it 100.
right.
You know? So I did 24 songs instead of 31. I'm a little upset with myself, but I said I'm gonna do it again one time. But life be life, and I skip a day here and there because things happen or whatever. But every song that I did release was something I recorded right then and there at that time, within 24 hours, and posted it 24 hours later after I recorded.
So, all right, so we gotta get into some of your up and coming projects. So, you are on the class of 2025 with Mr. Elmore Beats, right? And
Yes.
do you have anything else coming out outside of that? Because I know you did just talk about a project that you're supposed to be releasing. When is that?
Yeah, the real project that's supposed to be coming out June 19th. Tentatively June 19th. I might push it back. I didn't talk to L about it yet. Because with the class 2025, I don't want to really bump heads with that project as well with my project. But it tentatively is supposed to be dropping on the June 19th, which is in the next 2 weeks, week and a half, something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
So is that
I mean,
so it's gonna be
that project is completed. Al just got to do the mastering. He's doing the mastering for that project right now.
so that's probably going to be released before the 2025 class project. Then.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
That's
Cool.
the goal.
All right.
But then I have another project that's completed already, but I'm probably gonna wait until I don't know when I'm gonna drop it.
Gotcha.
Let me let this. I
Yeah,
think I've
let
been
this
feeding
in.
people with too much music this
Yeah.
year, so I gotta let this shit, especially with the more Beast project and all. I was like, I've been doing a lot, so I was like, I don't want to
Yeah.
just feed too much out there. So yeah. But my next project after this is totally it's on some whole other type of stuff. Yeah.
So as far as your visuals, you do a lot of your visuals yourself, right? Like a lot of your videos.
Yeah, a lot of my
and
videos I do myself. Yeah, right now, yes.
that's what's up. Like, so is that always been a thing for you? Like, where did you learn that, or what made you want to start doing that?
I've always say, if you want to get things done and you want to get it done right away, the best thing is learn how to do it yourself.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
I'm big on that.
Time is precious.
Right.
And it costs for other people time as well.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Sometimes like if you want to get something done, I gotta be like, listen, I need this done. I can't sit around and wait on somebody to get it done for me. You know what I mean? Cause then I allow myself to get upset at individuals because they didn't work in the time frame that works for me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So to save my energy from, save that energy or whatever the case is, then it's like, do it yourself. You want it
Facts.
out, do it yourself.
Facts.
Because other people got other things to do in their life. It's not all about me. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, you know what I mean? If you want something to get done, learn how to get it done yourself. Like I'm learning how to do more editings and stuff like that, and learn how to do a lot of things myself, so that you know what I mean. I don't have to always rely on other people to get it done for me if they're not available.
And they save a hell of a lot of money.
Save a hell of a lot of money as well. Yeah.
Save
So-
a hell of a lot of money.
So look, future wise, when you feel yourself is at a level with music where you comfortable, where you feel like you want to live at, what state?
What you mean state?
Like you want to keep it in New York, or you want to venture out, move somewhere else?
Talking about like living wise?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to start moving in. I want to move in the suburbs. I think I'm tired of the city life. I think it's time for me to go to suburbs, but it's not but the grass and all the greens and stuff.
Got you.
Especially at my age, I'm just some of the hood stuff. Sometimes you be like, yeah, I can't take this no more.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I'm trying to walk in freedom. I don't want to hurt nobody. So sometimes you was like, I gotta get away from all this shit.
Right.
Just really peace. You know what I mean? At my age, I just want to be at peace. You know what I mean? I want to be able to, through music, I want to hopefully inspire others through my music, connect with people through my music, and hope people, it can help somebody down the line, depending on what topics I'm talking about and what I'm mentioning about.
Facts.
Got you.
All right, so if you could give your 18-year-old self some advice, what would it be?
My 18-year self advice, what I would do.
If you could give Drap Boy some advice, what would it be?
To be honest with you, the advice would be careful of the company you keep around you, and if you have to learn how to be around people that want to grow. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in my 18 years, it's like you stay loyal to friends, as you should be, right? But sometimes certain people can stagnate you because if they're not trying to grow within themselves, sometimes they holding you back as well. And sometimes your loyalty is so keyed into your friends that you even hold yourself back because you feel like I have to stay here for them,
Mm-hmm.
right? But at the end of the day, who's elevating you?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you're moving in a way to elevate them, but they're not elevated by you because they want to stay here, you know what I mean? That's not your fault because they want to stay here. You have to learn how to still progress and move, and sometimes you have to keep your distance from people that's holding you back so that you can prosper and earn more out of life
Like this.
and achieve more things. You know what I mean? And it comes with a weapon because when you do that and you do achieve things, because I see it happen a lot, I hear a lot of talks about it. Oh, you changed. I mean, it's not that I changed. It's just I'm trying to progress. You know what I mean? I'm not around you because you're not trying to progress with me. You're not trying to build with me. You want me to stay here. You want me to stay here chilling on these corners, drinking and getting high with you every damn day. I'm trying to do something else. I got kids. I'm trying to develop things, right? So at the end of the day, I would tell my 18-year-old self, like, yo, listen, believe in yourself enough to understand that, listen, either they're gonna roll with you or they don't. And if they're not rolling with you, it's okay.
Yeah.
But still move. Take charge of yourself. You can't blame nobody why you didn't get where you at because you want to be that loyal to your friends that you want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, yeah, loyalty is key. But at the end of the day, you never let that stop your growth, though.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Never let it stop your growth. And if your friends is not with you, then you might got to question their loyalty because why they don't want to grow.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Some people just don't have the mind capacity to do that.
Some people don't.
Some people
Most
see the box and they just keep running around, hitting the
Yeah,
corners of the
it's-
box. What's something about being in the music industry or being a music artist, being a music artist that most people don't understand?
Wait, repeat that. How many?
What's something about being a music artist that most people don't understand from your perspective?
From my perspective, is being themselves. I think everybody's follow trends. You know what I mean? They see this popping, so everybody want to do what that's doing because it worked for that person. Just because it worked for that person doesn't mean it's gonna work for you.
Right.
Be your original self. Be your authentic self. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, even Jay-Z tell his story. No label wanted to sign him. Now he's the biggest thing in the industry. No label wanted to sign him. He had to go him and Damien Dash. They had to start their own label, just so he can get the respect he deserved in this industry. You know what I mean? But now
Facts.
you look at the Def Jams and all these industries that didn't want to sign him. Now they kissing his ass. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So that's a story itself. Like, you really have to, like, you know what I mean? They didn't believe in his craft because he wasn't doing what everybody else was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But he made it. He believed in himself that much, and the team that he was with believed him that much that they had him led that spear of Rockefeller Records, and he ended up becoming the biggest thing in music. You know, what I mean? Ended up becoming bigger than Diddy, and Diddy was big at the time when Jay-Z wasn't nothing. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
So at the end of the day, it's really just trusting yourself and believing in yourself and just following your craft. Because at the end of the day, some people the more consistent you are, people are gonna start following your wave eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You don't have to be like the next man, and I think that's what's wrong right now. Everybody just following what everybody else is doing right now.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Because like everybody was doing drill. What happened? The drill wave is gone now. So what are y'all doing now?
They doing that
You,
sexy.
you know what I'm saying?
shit.
Y'all don't know what to do now. You get what I'm saying?
Ain't nobody, ain't that much music out no more.
It seemed like Drake and Kendrick Lamar just took over the music industry.
they
like,
fucked
the
like
game
up.
They the only rappers out there now. Like, where the other rappers at? All I hear is Drake and Kendrick. Where's the other rappers at?
Even the South is like, even the South ain't even really, the South ain't even really doing that. You like, yo, where they at? Like,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of talent out there.
Yeah.
It's just not being pushed. There's a lot of talent out there that's not being pushed because even these record executives, they became lazy.
Mhm.
They following what's trending. Oh, if it's trending on Instagram now, they following that. They jumping on anything that's trending. You know what I mean? So they're not really looking for real talent anymore.
They're looking at views.
They're looking at views.
Facts.
You know what I mean? All they looking about is what can put more money in their bank instead of saying, "Oh, I see this talent and I can create this talent and make even more money." Because there's so much talent they can create so much money with, but you have to bring that talent in your circle and give them the marketing and stuff that they need. And trust me, the money is there with them too. Yeah, maybe they don't have the resources to get all these likes and views like some of these people do. You know what I mean? Maybe they not social media like that because they not stuck on social media all day and want to be in front of a camera all day doing all this stuff just to get likes and get followers and stuff like that.
Facts.
But they got a lot of hidden talent in these areas that they're not looking at because they're just looking at somebody who already built themselves.
Facts. So it's making it. I would say like it's easier for them that way.
Yeah, that's
They don't
easy
gotta,
money.
cause they not even really building real stars anymore. Like they're not even doing the whole remember the Michael Jackson shit where they was pitting you through school and
Right.
and artists. What is it called? What they pitch you?
Artist development.
Artist development. I don't even think they doing that anymore.
Nah.
But even with that, a lot of these artists, some of these artists are self sufficient and already developed on their own because they're in love with the craft.
Yeah.
But they still not getting that recognition because they probably don't know the social media part. They don't want to be part of the social media
Yeah.
part. You know what I mean? Like
Gotcha.
when I look at a lot of the talent that's under more beats, I'm looking at Rob Finesse, Demented, Phoenix. These guys are talented as hell.
Talented.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight talented.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But nobody gonna really recognize them till they get this whole big following, fan base, and things like that. Which is like, no, you got talent right here. You know what I mean? Old bags. Elle got a lot of talent in this team.
A lot.
You know what I mean? And they inspire me, and I look at it. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of talent here. But the thing about it is, when are they gonna get their breakthrough? Because at the end of the day, they waiting for them to develop themselves first. Listen, I say like this: if you're gonna bust your butt and develop yourself right now, then do what Tory Lanez did. Go independent. Why you need a label for? You already did the work.
That's why I feel like
You
they
did
locked them up.
you did all the work. You did all the work to get there, and now the labels want you now because after all the work you done put in.
Yeah. So
Now they like, oh, they did the work already.
Right.
Let's sign them. They already got the follow. They already got the views. We just gonna add more to it. That's it. But you did the work.
so
If
they can eat
that's
off
the
your
case, you guys continue doing the work and make 100% of that money yourself. Because at the end of the day, all these artists act like they make money. They don't make no real money. Especially with the streaming services now. There's no money in music like that. You know what I mean?
That's my next question. I was going to ask you, what's your take on how the music industry is evolving with streaming, TikTok, and AI?
I mean, right now, I hear there's a lot of money in TikTok. I mean, I never followed that wave. I guess I hear there's a lot of money in YouTube and stuff like that. I mean, if you hitting a wave, I mean, you just got to make sure that with those, you got to get followers. But if you can get your followers up on your own, then why do you need an industry? That's my whole thing. Why do you need an industry? Because you already did it yourself. You did the work yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now you sign your contract because they got a big name, or I got this big name behind me, or whatever the case is. But that big name is actually taking all that money you could have made 100% yourself. Now you're only getting 10%, a small percentage, while they getting the bulk of the money. So they becoming billionaires while you becoming just a millionaire.
I got you.
You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day, like you already put the work in, and then you still, even when you sign under them, you still got to put that work in as well. Yeah, they got connections in overseas, international, and things like that. But at the end of the day, you putting the work in. You've always gonna put the work. Even under them, you're gonna put the work in.
Facts.
But if you already developed yourself and got your stats up there, why not continue doing what you're doing? Why sit around waiting for them? Why sit around and say, "Oh, I need to be under UMG," when you already putting in the work?
Just so they could take the money off
Yeah.
them.
You know what I mean? Now it's different if they coming out there and they get somebody who did the work, but they see the talent.
Mm-hmm.
Then okay, yeah, I'm gonna develop and I'm gonna put a name out there. Okay, yeah, you deserve a good percentage of it. But why would I? If I put all the work in now you want me to be part of your team now after I put in all this work?
Right. Gotta make sense.
You gotta know your own value. Because if you put in all this work, you value yourself that much, put in this work, then at this point you can continue doing what you're doing because there's more money out there. You got artists out there like the Darnell Jones and stuff like that we don't hear no more. That once they got their followers, whether it's 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, they're fine with that because now they can make their music independently, and they making more money with them 10,000 followers than somebody's making 5 million followers.
Facts. And
You know what I mean?
And you don't even know that.
And you don't even know it because they doing it behind the scenes. They putting out music, they doing shows, whatever, but they getting a larger percentage of their sales and their music and stuff and and they making real money.
My fault to cut you off,
No
but
doubt.
you don't even know that because the way the industry is set up, they don't want you to know that.
No, they don't.
Exactly.
So they don't promote that.
Of course.
They don't promote the independent artists out here getting to the bag.
Swept under
You
the
know
rug.
what I mean? They gonna make it seem like they broke when no reality they not really broke. They getting the steady money and they keeping all their money. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like
Trust me, the ones that's broke is the ones that's doing all the extra stuff in the videos.
Facts.
Those are the ones that's broke. Because they gotta pay for all that stuff.
Besides all the gems that you already dropped throughout this whole 55 minute interview, you done dropped mad jewels. If you could give the up and coming artists that's trying to break through the scenes, like I said, you done gave mad jewels already, but if you could give them something else, what would you leave them with?
I mean, like I said before, man, believe in yourself. Never doubt yourself. Keep your grind. Make sure you circle around the right people that also believe in yourself as well. Don't allow nobody to doubt that you're not, talented enough to get there. There's a space for everybody. You know what I mean? It's okay to be competitive because competitors make us better, right? But don't hate. There's a difference between being competitive and hating on somebody. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you can, you could be very competitive. Like I'm very competitive. Like I hear stuff that guys put out under more beats, and I'm competitive.
Yeah.
Because I'm inspired by what they're doing. Like, oh, listen, you know what I mean? Step my game up, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You know what I mean? I'll be listening at these bars. I'm like, oh, shit, let me get my bars up. Like, I mean, so, you know what I mean? Being competitive is great because that helps build you up, you know what I mean? And we all should be competitive, but we should never hate on each other. Meaning, when I say hate, meaning blocking on each other, downplaying each other, you know what I mean? Disrespecting each other and things like that because it's just a place for everybody.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
I know my wave ain't the same wave as somebody else's. I'm not expecting to grab your followers and stuff like that. I got my own flow. I got my own thing going on, and I'm happy for those who like what I do, and I'm cool with that. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
So at the end of the day, it's like, you know what I mean? You don't need to be nobody. Be yourself. Love what you do. Enjoy it. Don't stress yourself out by it. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's a talent that God has given you, and you should enjoy it and make it the best out of you because at the end of the day, you see even a lot of these celebrities out here, you wonder why they get high on drugs and stuff like that because they're not 100% happy. You know what I mean? Because it comes with a whole bunch of stress they don't even know how to control or manage, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, it's like really love what you're doing so that you could be in a mental space. So when you make that bag, you're in a good mental space when you got that bag and you don't lose yourself with that bag. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And nobody can tell you nothing because they want us to be lost.
Facts. That's their job.
Yeah, they
To
want
keep
us
us lost so they can keep getting the money
so
off
they can
our
keep
backs.
money, of course.
Real time. appreciate you, big bro.
No
Word.
doubt, bro.
For
You
coming
already
out, man. It's an honor, man.
Most
All right.
definitely.
Word.
Most definitely.
All right, bro.
Happy, man.
Let the people know where they can find all your music, any projects you got, anything you got coming out. Let the people know. Talk to the camera. Real
Yeah,
fast.
yeah. I mean, you can follow me on Instagram. That's why I post most of my stuff on Instagram. I do a lot of things on Instagram more than any other social media. I got to get used to the other social media platforms. But then you catch me on Realtime _ the Real Room. That's my tag on Instagram. But then I got my YouTube, which I need to post more on that, which is Realtime _ TRR, which stands for the Real Room as well. The Realtime _ TRR on YouTube and Realtime _ the Real Room on Instagram. That's where you can find me.
DJ Top 10, you got anything for real time before we spin out?
Yo, keep it moving with the, dropping jewels and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Always keep that coming in because young artists coming up, they're going to want to tend to it and try to see how they can format for them. You know what I'm saying?
No, and that's the main thing. You know what I mean? That's the main thing. You know what I mean? I'm seeing y'all these young cats making money and then going to jail and get caught up in these RICO cases and stuff is crazy. You know what I mean? When when they get that money, they could do better things, make better decisions, and really help the hood instead of allowing themselves to still be caught up in all that crazy stuff. You know what I mean? So it's something that we have to do better. Once we see that, let them use you to get that bag, right? But then be smart about it. Once you get that money, do that transformation, but be smart about it before you do that transformation.
Most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Real Time, for coming out again, man. It's a pleasure, it's an
You
honor.
already know.
You already know, man. Another episode, Straight Live Podcast, man. We signing out.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Sir.